crash. So we're going to start the recording right away. We're going to get into it. It is the 8-8 Fort Wayne Kekiongas, who are a game back in the National League, at the 10-7 Philadelphia Athletics, who are 2.5 back in the American League. It's at Philadelphia. We got ourselves the starting lineups here, starting with the visiting Fort Wayne Kekiongas. Leading off will be shortstop Dickie Flowers. He's got a 375 average, 7 RBIs so far this season. 4 for 10 versus Matthews in this season so far. Count Sensendorfer is in the 2 spot. The center fielder batting .311 with 10 RBIs. He is 3 for 10 against Matthews this season. Jimmy Wood, second baseman, is in the 3rd spot. He has got 16 RBIs and 1 home run, batting .329 there. He is 2 for 10, though, against Matthews so far this season. Steve King, left fielder, bats 4th, batting .279 RBIs, 4 for 9 off Matthews so far this season. He's the one to watch in that 4 spot. Harry Schaefer's in the 5 spot. The third baseman is got 6 RBIs, batting .250. He is 2 for 10 against Matthews so far this season. Wes Fisler, the first baseman, is in the 6th spot. To 371 average with 12 RBIs so far this season. He is 5 for 8 against Matthews as well. He's one to watch as well on this Fort Wayne Kekiongas side. Fergie Malone, the catcher, will bat in the 7th spot. He is got 11 RBIs, 322 average, with a 2 for 8 so far against Matthews so far this season. Dave Birdsall's in the 8th spot, right fielder, batting .322 with 11 RBIs. He is yet to get a hit in 7 at-bats against Matthews so far this season. George Zetland, the pitcher, will round things off for Fort Wayne, batting .197, 6 RBIs. He is 1 for 8 off Matthews so far this season. We'll come back to the pitching lineups in a minute. But before we get into them, let's get into the starting lineup for the Philadelphia Athletics. John Hartfield, left fielder, leads things off. 7 RBIs, 361 average so far this season. He's batting 506 at-bats against Zetland so far this season. Scott Hastings, the catcher, bats second, batting .264, 5 RBIs so far this season. He's 2 for 8 against Zetland. Tom York, center fielder, batting third. He's got a 244 average with 8 RBIs so far this season. He's batting 3 for 9 against Zetland so far this season. Ed Pinkham, third baseman, is going to bat in the 4th spot. He's got 14 RBIs and a 342 average so far this season. Great numbers, but he's yet to get a hit off George Zetland so far in 7 trips to the plate. Dickie Pierce, shortstop, bats 5th. He's 1 home run, 14 RBIs, 329 batting average. He's only 1 for 7 against Zetland so far this season. Dick Higgum, the second baseman, bats in the 6th spot. 1 home run, 17 RBIs so far for Philadelphia, batting with a 368 average. He's 3 for 8 against Zetland. Charlie Bierman, the first baseman, batting 7th. 1 home run, 8 RBI so far this season, 274, but an impressive 5 for 8 against Zetland so far this season. He's followed by Neely Phelps in the 8th spot, the right fielder, batting .265 with 11 RBIs so far this season. He's yet to get a hit in 7 at-bats against Zetland. And then Bobby Matthews rounds the lineup off for Philadelphia. He is batting .254, 3 RBIs so far this season. He has not gotten a hit off Zetland in 8 at-bats so far this season. How's your day been, Benny? Been good, man. How's yours been? It was nice to talk to you earlier, but how's your day been, man? Mine was all right. The pitching duel, the pitching matchup for tonight, Zetland takes the mound. He's 8-8 in 16 starts, 3.78 ERA with a 1.39 WHIP. He is 1-1 versus Philadelphia this season, with a 2.5 ERA in those 2 games. Bobby Matthews is opposite on the mound for Philadelphia. 9-6 so far this season with 2 no decisions, 2.84 ERA and a 1.30 WHIP. He is 1 for 1 against Fort Wayne with a 4.0 ERA in those 2 matchups. It's a 2:05 first pitch start. 9:36 expected to be in attendance here today. 72 degrees for those that use Celsius. That is a nice 22 degrees, actually. Is that correct? Yes, 22 degrees. And the wind is blowing out to right at 9 miles an hour. From the Jefferson Street Grounds in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, it's time once again for the Fort Wayne Kekiongas traveling to the Philadelphia Athletics. We begin with the national anthems prior to the start of this. Do you guys want the national anthem? I don't think we need the national anthems, to be honest with you, because Canada doesn't come into the save until like the 60s, bro. So I don't think there's a reason to play the national anthem. Actually, we're not gonna do the national anthem. We'll skip the national anthem. In fact, I'm gonna close that tab and I'll never open it again unless I go back to the FM24 saves. Right. So let's kick things off with our first sponsor. Kadava is an awesome streamer who had an alternative history save going on with F1 Manager 2024. If he picks that up again or he comes to the dark side and starts streaming Football Manager, either way, give him a follow. He's an awesome guy, awesome Aussie, proud Australian as well. The great Kadava, big shout out, will sponsor our first inning here today. Glad you jumped in, voice chat mate, today. You need to jump in, but more, mate, when you get the chance. Also, last game fucked me on my strip. I mean, I'll definitely jump in more here and there if time allows, you know. But I'm sorry to hear about the last game. Right, we're set. We are set for the first pitch here at the Jefferson Street Grounds, Philadelphia, PA. And it's absolutely perfect. Kadava says perfect temperature. Yeah, really. 22 is gorgeous. Give you a follow. That one's going to be popped up right away. Second baseman's over there. He's going to make the grab. And Dickie Flowers immediately pops out on the first pitch. And that will bring up Count Sensendorfer, the center fielder. Sensendorfer trying to maybe show a little bit more patience. He's going to take that high and in, ball one. The 1-0 pitch to Sensendorfer. That's grounded over to short. That's a quick throw. It's a bad throw, a really bad throw. And it's going to be an E6. That's an error on the shortstop. And Sensendorfer gets the second on the error. Dickie Pierce, the shortstop, immediately getting credited with the error. And Fort Wayne have a runner on second with one out. That will bring up Jimmy Wood, the second baseman. Runner on second, one down. First pitch to Wood. He's going to take that inside for a ball, 1-0. The 1-0 pitch. Lined right at the second baseman. He's got it for the out. 2 away now. That brings up Steve King, left fielder. Runner on second, 1-2 down. Here's the first pitch to King. He's taking that. He took that low for a ball that was judged to be low. I thought it was right at the knees, but ball one. Here's the 1-0. That's grounded over to third. It's a quick throw over the first. It's a bad throw over the first, and it's an E5. An error on the third baseman. King gets to first. Sensendorfer goes to third, and Ed Pinkham, the third baseman, gets credited with the error. And that'll bring up Harry Schaefer. Inning still alive here. Now a runner in scoring, but just 90 feet away. 2 down. First pitch to Schaefer. He swung that one. That's fouled down the third base side. Here's the 0-1. Inside, ball one. The 1-1. He's taking that below the knees, 2-1. The 2-1 pitch. It's lined right at the third baseman. He's got it. And the side is retired. No runs, no hits, 2 men left on base. We go bottom first here in Philadelphia. We've got no score. John Hatfield will lead things off for Philadelphia. We are going to take ourselves a 90-second timeout. We'll be back with more in a minute and a half. Welcome back, everybody. Bottom first here in Philadelphia. John Hatfield settling in. George Zetlin on the mound. First pitch to Hatfield incoming. And this one's going to be taken inside, ball 1. Here's the 1-0 pitch. He's taking that at the lettering for a strike. It's 1-1. The 1-1 pitch. That's low, ball 2. 2-1 now. Here's the 2-1 pitch to Hatfield. And he has popped that into left. And left fielder's there. He makes the grab. And Hatfield is retired on 5 pitches. Hope you all hope all is well with you guys. Yeah, I'm doing all right, man. How are you, Ducky? Hope you're well, man. I just got a lot going on I'm trying to stay on top of. You know what I mean? It's kind of difficult. There's so many different, just things I'm in, between communities and running this stream and my personal life and things like that. Just trying to stay on top of everything when you fill your schedule with so much becomes a challenge. You know the way it is. So that's all. Scott Hastings settles in. It's a good challenge, though. It's not a bad challenge. But, sometimes you just don't know if you're balancing everything right. You know what I mean? You just hope that you do. And you hope you're not misunderstood when you don't. You know what I mean? So Scott Hastings settles in. First pitch to Hastings. That's taken inside, ball 1. Here's the 1-0. And 1-0 is going to be swung on, grounded over to short. That is an error on the shortstop. He fumbled the ball. That is shortstop Dickie Flowers. He went down to scoop it up, and his hand came up, and the ball did not come with it. And that's allowed Hastings to get the first base. So Right. Tom York settles in. Runner on first, one down. First pitch to York. He's going to take that right down Broad Street for a called strike. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's grounded over to second. The throw on to first is in time. That'll be the fielder's choice. So 4-3 fielder's choice. Or, I'm sorry, it's not a fielder's choice. What am I talking about, fielder's choice? Fielder's choice would have been if he went to second. It's just a 4-3. And Scott Hastings goes to second. Ed Pinkham settles in. Third baseman, runner on second, 2 down. Here's the first pitch to Pinkham. That's on the outside part of the plate for a called strike. It's 0-1. Oh, gang. Hey, what's up, Fipo? Fipo, it's the resident Arsenal fan. Fipo, what's up, Fipo? How you doing, bro? Great to fucking see you, my man. I hope you're doing well. By the way, chat, I got something to show you. Look what arrived today. And they're way smaller than I thought they were going to be. Way smaller than I thought they were going to be. Like, I don't have my spare one here, do I? I do. Hold on. I do have my spare one. Hold on. If you want to see, this is the size of the baseball scoreboard or scorebook, right? Look at the size of this thing. Look at the size of the ice hockey one by comparison, dude. Look at the size of the ice hockey one by comparison. Like, it's tiny, my man. It's so tiny compared to the other one. You want to know what the funny thing is? I have a third baseball scorebook. Here's the scorebook for the third one. Look at the size compared to the third one, dude. Like, it's tiny. What's up, KXJ? Good to see him, man. You're doing fine, man? Good, man. Good. The crazy thing is, they expect you to write the full lineup. Like, look at how tiny the fucking lines are for the player names. You know what I mean? Like, that's my only concern is, like, the player names are so tiny, but I can't find a hardback ice hockey scorebook. I can only find this is, like, I could only find paperback, and they're all about the same size, and this was the cheapest one. Like, the only other one that was bigger was literally 1 inch by 1 inch bigger, and I'm like, I don't know how much more room I'm going to get, and that one's like $20, and this was $7.50. So it's like, well, if I'm gonna, I'm not, you know what I mean? Like, I might as well get this one because it's cheaper, and then I can buy 3 of them for the same price practically, you know? So that's what I did. So I got the ice hockey scorebooks in. We're ready to go for Franchise Hockey Manager. I do need to reinstall the NHL 2K6 mod because I have the mod from the beginning of last season and not this season. So I need to get that. I need to get that mod sorted, but I will do that. How are you, Benny? I'm doing all right, man. I told Dougie, like, I try to keep myself busy. I always schedule a lot. I try to be in a lot of people's streams, catch up with them. I got stuff going on where I'm a part of like certain communities, and those communities have like, whether it's out of the park baseball or it's football manager or it's something else. They have like wrestle like WWE. They have like created character redeems, and I have characters in them, and it's like trying to stay on top of that, trying to stay on top of my personal life, and like it's tax season here, so I got to do my taxes and all this other stuff, and then trying to uh, stay on top of like other things going on in my personal life, and staying on top of work, and staying on top of my sleep, and trying to work in like going back to the gym. It's like trying to you the you you kind of want to make sure that like you're staying on top of it and you're balancing everything. And there's times where when you fill your life with all this stuff, you don't know if you're balancing it all correctly. And like I said, you just hope you're not misunderstood when you don't by other people. And that's kind of where I'm at. So uh Um, but that's all. How was the bowling? How'd the bowling finish, man? Sorry, I'm trying to, as I say, balancing. I'm literally trying to balance something right now, but still. How'd the bowling finish? Here's Ed Pinkham. 0-1 pitch to Pinkham. He's grounded that. Foul. It'll be 0-2. Here's the 0-2. Check swing. He has third base. The umpire there says he didn't go, and it's below the knees. 1-2. But yeah, I don't want people to get. The one thing I do get a little bit discouraged at when people tell me, by the way, is I get one of the common things that I get all the time is people will come in here and they'll be like, "Oh, I stopped by stream, but I saw you were playing the baseball game and I didn't know what was going on, so I just left." And it's like, well, first off, talk. It's okay to talk. Talking doesn't require knowledge of baseball. And second off, if you ever actually want to know what's going on, ask. I'm happy to teach the game. It was a test room one to see if people actually wanted to watch, but I went, okay, I could do better. Nice. Of course I want to watch you bowling. Bowling's fucking great, man. So, you're better bowler than me. I know that. Jesus Christ, you're such a good bowler. I have baseball jersey. Let's go, It Kit. Here, is it one of the World Baseball Classic ones? Here's the one, too. That's inside ball, too. Because if it's one of the World Baseball Classic jerseys, It Kit, I don't fucking blame you. $186, but I can do better, bro. You know what my highest is on a good day, KXJ? 120. About 120, 115. Here's the 2-2. Ripped in the left. That'll be foul. Oh, yeah, I'm not a good ball. I don't really know how to spin the ball. You know what I mean? My highest is 247. Jesus Christ. One of my old coworkers, who I worked with for the better part of 6.5 years. He was in a bowling league. Here's the 2-2. It's going to get by. That's going to get by. It is a wild pitch, and Hastings goes to third with 2 outs. One of my old coworkers who was in a bowling league, he just last year, for the first time in his bowling career, bowled a 300. Smoke guy was a hobby. No, it's a current Cubs, I'm afraid. I feel bad for you, man. A Cubs jersey? We all have that lovable loser, man, and that's what the Cubs are, essentially. Who went once in bowling and did 260 unreal? Yeah. Phew. How you doing, Pix? Here's the full count. That's lined back into center field. Base hit, and Philadelphia is on the board. It's an RBI single from Ed Pinkham. Coming in to score is Hastings, and the Athletics take a 1-0 lead. It was only because of Badgers supporting them, looking for more more classics, though. This sport, I don't understand. So each team gets 3 outs an inning, KXJ? No. There's no points for grab. You get points. So each team attempts to hit the ball into the field without being caught, right? Kind of like cricket. And as you hit the ball into the field, you have to run to the bases. There's a first base, there's a second base, there's a third base, and then there's home, right? And you cannot be tagged out while you're on base, which is why Pinkham's holding on first base here. You get points when a runner crosses home plate. So, for example, that last play, there was a runner on third base. Pinkham hit a ball into center field that landed on the turf, which means it couldn't be caught for an out. And that allowed Hastings to go from third base home. And him crossing home is why Philadelphia got the run. So now Pinkham's on first. Dickie Pierce is going to try to get a hit to move Pinkham over. The rules of the game don't change over the years in OOTP picks. No, they can't. They haven't coded that into the game. I think it's very difficult for them to do that, but yeah, they haven't coded that into the game, no. The league structure does, like the amount of games you play per season and the playoff format and all of that stuff, divisions, all of that will change over the course of the seasons. But the actual rules of the baseball game won't. Is this game like? Yes, it's FM for baseball. That's exactly right. Dickie Pierce steps in. So each batter gets, these are balls and strikes. You have an imaginary strike zone. And the strike zone is the width of this home plate from the lettering to the knees. And if a ball is pitched within that zone, that imaginary zone that exists between the lettering and the shirt, the lettering being this is called the lettering. So this is a strike, and the knees, and it's over the plate, then it's a strike. If you foul a ball, it's a strike. If it's pitched outside of that, like the ball is pitched, say, shoulder high and it's too high, then it's a ball. 4 balls walks a batter to first base for free. 3 strikes is automatically an out, though. So batters try to get on base, and by getting on base, help their teammates get over to the next base and eventually get them home. That's the entire point of the game. And once, like I said, once a base runner, like Ed Pinkham is here, gets all the way around the diamond, touches second base, touches third base, touches home, then that's 1 run. Here is the first pitch to Dickie Pierce. And that's a ball 1-0. And there's going to be no throw on the steal by Pinkham to second base. So Pinkham steals second base. You're out in a few ways, but you are out. Batters are out if they strike out, which means they take 3 strikes without getting a hit. If they hit the ball in the air and it's caught, then that's automatically an out. If they're running to a base and somebody tags them with the ball, then they're out. The only other way is called a force out. So if you're the batter and you hit the ball into play, the defensive team has until you reach first base to throw the ball on first base. If the fielder holding on first base holds the ball and steps on first before the batter arrives, the batter's out. It's called a force out, and the batter's automatically out. So, here's the 1-0 to Dickie Pierce. The World Baseball Classic's going on right now, so it's kind of fun actually. And this 1-0 pitch is below the knees, 2-0. The 2-0 pitch is inside, ball 3. 3-0 pitch to Dickie Pierce. He's going to take this one all the way. That's a called strike. It's 3-1. And a 3-1 pitch. That's lined foul down the first base side. This is the fair foul line, by the way. Anything that lands on this side is foul. Anything that lands on this side is fair. Here's the 3-2. Crack with the 13 months. What's good, Crack? How are you, bro? How was the end of your stream earlier, my guy? I had to take the trash out, and I was talking with a friend about getting his help on reinstalling something. Do you buy you can do that, yeah. You can buy players and trade in the NBA, yeah. There's also a draft every year in the MLB. So college talent usually comes out of the college and they draft them. MLB has a draft, yeah. So sound enough, nothing too exciting. Failed to beat Rock in the showcase, so we'll go at it that next time. Nice. Full count pitch to Dickie Pierce. And that is lined into right field way back there. Right fielder's there, though. He makes the grab, and the side is retired. 1 run on 1 hit, and they left 1 on base. We go top second here in Philadelphia. The Athletics take a 1-0 lead. How do you get rid of players or get new players? So, major league teams could drop a player. You can send them down to the minors. And if they don't have what's called a two-way contract, then they would release to you're not asking too much. They would release to waivers. But genuinely, contracts expiring or trades is a good way to do it. Yeah. Usually I would say 9 times out of 10 that's how it goes. So we'll start with level 9 at level 1, do 30 at level 2, then finish with level 3. All right. Cool. I see. I think. Anyways, just wanted to pop in, say hello, have a great stream, mate. Make sure your crack is 90. Slongafol and Pogmaton. Yeah. Sounds good, crack. Have a great night, man. So, yeah, usually I would say the number one way player, the 2 ways that players are mainly gotten rid of off your roster is traded or contract expires. The third way is waivers, but that's a little bit complex. I don't know if I want to explain that to you just yet. But usually, yeah, contract expiring trades. You get new players by either trading for them. You can sign free agents just like in any sport, or you can draft them in the draft. If they're young prospects, there'll be a draft at the usually in May or June is the MLB draft. So and that talent is going to be talent coming out of college, which is like anywhere from 19 to 22 years old. But those players, it's not like MLS, where in like MLS the draft doesn't really produce great players. MLB, the draft is literally the best players. It's just like any other American sport. What's up, Bobby? So, yeah. Usually in June, the best players in baseball, or the best college players, will declare for the draft, and teams will have a right to draft them. And then they do a draft, just like the NFL and the NBA and the NHL does. And those players that get drafted sign for the clubs that draft them, usually. Right. Top second, new ending, new shout out. Stewart is an awesome retro game speedrunning commentator. Usually does some Final Fantasy VI, Final Fantasy 1, done some other games as well. Currently playing through Slay the Spire 2. Give him a follow if you haven't already. Awesome member of our community. The excellent DM Stewart, 1981, sponsors tonight's second inning. There's also 9 innings in the game. So 3 outs, you change sides. There's 9 innings in the game. Away team always bats in the top of the inning, and home team always bats in the bottom of the inning. So top second. And here we go. First pitch to Wes Fizzler. And that's right down Broad Street for a strike. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Grounded back to the mound. The throw over to first is in time. And Wes Fizzler is retired, so that'll be 1 out. That brings up Fergie Malone, the catcher. First pitch to him. And that's on the inside part of the plate for a called strike. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's high. Ball 1. You watch enough baseball, you'll pick it up eventually. It's pretty cool, though. It's an awesome game. It's such an unpredictable game because the bat is round and the ball is round, so it's such an unpredictable game. Here's the 1-1. I think that's why I love it so much, because it's so quirky that way. It's fouled, 1-2. Here's the 1-2 pitch. And that one's popped up into right at the right fielder. He's there. He makes the grab. And that'll be the second out. Dave Burnsall, the right fielder, settles in. First pitch to him. And that's a called strike. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1. That's on the inside corner, strike 2. He absolutely painted the corner. And now 0-2 to Dave Birdsall. He is in a hole here. He's going to take that one inside, 1-2. 1-2 pitch to Birdsall. He's going to take that below the knees, 2-2. 2-2 pitch. That's lined right at the shortstop. He's got it. And that is the final out of the inning. No runs, no hits, nobody left on base. We go bottom second in this one. The Athletics hold a 1-0 lead. 6, 7, 8 spots due up for Philadelphia. Dick Higham will lead things off. We're going to take ourselves a 90-second timeout. We'll be back with more in a minute and a half. Welcome back. Bottom second here in Philadelphia. Home team leading 1-0. On a single hit by Ed Pinkham. 3 errors in the game so far as well. And I just spilled a drop of water on my scorecard. No! Thankfully, it's not anywhere I wrote yet, so it might dry and I might be fine. Right, Dick Higgum settling in, second baseman. First pitch to Higgum as he settles in. And that's taken for a called strike. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Outside, ball 1. It's 1-1 now. The even count pitch. That's inside, ball 2. 2-1 to count. Here's the pitch. Swung on into center field, base hit. And Dick Higgum is aboard with a single. A hit in 12 straight games now for Higgum as he gets on first. And Charlie Bierman will settle in. 1 on, nobody out. First pitch to Bierman. He swung on it. That is popped up into center field. It's playable. And center fielder just comes in a few steps for it. He makes the grab. And that'll be the first out of the inning. Neely Phelps, the right fielder, is the next man in. First pitch to Phelps. Grounded over to short. That's on to second for 1. They don't get the throw over to first. So Phelps is aboard on a 6-4 fielder's choice. Dick Higgum is thrown out over at second base. And that'll bring up Bobby Matthews. I talked about force outs last time for those that are wondering about baseball. Like if Bobby Matthews hits a ball on the ground, he has to try and reach first base before the fielding team throws the ball over to the first baseman and the first baseman steps on the bag with the ball. Well, if you have a runner on first, that runner who's on first base has to do the same for second base. He has to reach second base before the fielding team throws the ball to the second baseman, then the second baseman steps on second with the ball. And if you have a runner on first and a runner on second, then the runner on second has to reach third base before the fielding team throws the ball over. So the force outs only exist going to first base and going to each sequential base so long as the bases that precede it have a runner on it. Meaning, in this play, second base is a force-out play because Neely Phelps is on first. If Dick Higgum was on second still and Phelps was on first, then the force-out on third base would exist because you have a runner on first and second. So, that's how force-outs work. Now, if you just have a runner on second and there's nobody on first, then the second baseman, the runner on second base, I should say, gets the choice whether he wants to run or not. He does not have to run. But if you have people on each sequential base, then they essentially have to run if the ball's on the ground. Right, first pitch to Bobby Matthews. He's taking that way low. That's in the dirt, 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's taken on the outside part of the plate for a called strike. 1-1. The 1-1. Inside, ball 2. Here's the 2-1. Swung on and missed. It's 2-2. It does not matter, by the way, where a ball is pitched. If you swing and miss, it's a strike. Period. If you swing and miss at a pitch, it's a strike, no matter where the ball is. So, it's pretty cool so far. Having trouble fighting the Regent, though. I finally figured it out today after 20 runs. Good Lord. Here's the 2-2. He's fouled that off. It's going to stay 2-2. You cannot foul out, by the way. The only way you can foul out is if you're bunting. Bunting is when you hold the bat like this. Because the idea is you try to catch the defense off guard. So instead of swinging the ball, you just like chop at it with a flat bat like this. And then when you bunt, it'll like bunt right down into the dirt in front of you. And you're trying to catch the fielding. You're trying to catch the pitcher or the catcher off guard. You know, but when you bunt. But if you have 2 strikes and you bunt a ball and that ball goes foul, then you're automatically out. But if you swing and the ball goes foul, you can't foul out. The 2-2. That's high and away. 3-2. Full count to Bobby Matthews. He's fouled that off. We'll stay 3-2. Runners will be going on this pitch. 3-2. He's fouled it off again. And we go again. 9th pitch of the at-bat. And he's fouled that again down the first base side. We go again. The payoff pitch is popped up. Second baseman. He's there. He makes the grab. And the side is retired. No runs on 1 hit. They leave 1 man left on base. We go top third. 1-0 Philadelphia. New inning means it's time for a new sponsor. There are 3 different sheets. All right, hold on. There are 3 different sheets at the bottom to review. Okay. So I've been given something that I have to. I didn't expect to review this tonight, but I have to review this tonight, and I'm just reviewing it right now. Hold on. Nice. Okay. Okay. Got you. Okay. Looks great, actually. Oh, we got it. Okay. 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 Yeah. No, very nice. All right, cool. Right. So I stares intently like Benny. You don't have to review tonight. Focus on here if you're fine with the game plan. I'll implement when you say go. It's go time, baby. Big O. It's go time. I think he actually says it's show time, but it's go time, baby. I just DM'd it to you, too. Thank you, Commish. I'm sorry. I didn't expect to... I don't know. I'm just really bad at timing, Commish, so apologies, bro. I apologize. Go. Guys, if you love Genuinely, by the way, if you love the game of baseball and you want to see like what Out of the Park can actually do and what it's possible to do in Out of the Park, 100% follow the commish. Um, the commish has a whole league. Here he is playing 26 called EMLB, and oh, love it. Great goal horn, by the way. He's got the Guinness brilliant in it. That's my wife's creative, but that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. If you like baseball, Kamish runs a whole EMLB series where you can create a player, and there are other members of his chat who are the actual general managers for the 30 MLB teams, and it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. It's such a deep community. I'm a little bit I'm learning it. I'll put it that way. It's so deep. I know about this much, and that's like the tip of the iceberg that sunk the Titanic, man, because it's so deep. But if you love baseball, he's got a whole community of Twitch members that make up his EMLB league. I think they just started. You just started 2033, I think. And they do drafts. Like if you can create a player, they can get drafted in the draft coming out of college. It's insane. Like the levels to it are insane. That's why I've struggled to learn it a little bit, because Kamish has been doing this for 20 plus years, and I've come in here and I'm like, this is 20 plus years of a league that's developed with all the different nuances on how to boost players, how to create players, how to develop your own players, how the general managers pick and play players, and I know this tiny little bit about it, but it's an amazing watch. They just had a fantastic World Series as well to finish the 2032 season. So if you genuinely like baseball, that's the #1 channel on Twitch for anything baseball content, especially baseball management content, without a shadow of a doubt. Go give the commission a follow. He's a stand-up guy, absolutely stand-up guy. Thanks. I didn't mean to like get you to come in here to commish, but I appreciate you swinging by, and I'm sorry that I've like kind of. I mentioned it. This is when I mentioned I don't know if I'm juggling everything correctly in terms of time. This is kind of what I mentioned. You know what I mean? And it's my bad. I didn't mean to. I should have reached out to you tomorrow night, but because I'm not streaming tomorrow night. But I reached out to you tonight because I'm one of those people where if I don't do it when I remember it, I'm not going to remember it. And then, yeah, I kind of sucked myself into doing all this while I was live, and I didn't mean to do that. But I did. It's unfair to you, and it's unfair to the viewers, and I apologize to all y'all for that. But yeah, I'm like that, man. If I don't do it the moment I remember it, if I don't have it written down and I don't do it the moment I remember it, I need to do it right then and there. And that is a really good reason why I need to start using a daily planner, and why I'm going to put that on the desk to use starting next week. So, because Lord knows that would maybe help me get organized a little bit more. Right. Where was I? It's Matthews on the mound. We're about to start the third inning. I got to give this shout out to start the inning, right? Ever Impending Sense of Doom is an awesome football manager streamer. They also play guitar on stream, which is why you're seeing them last playing music. And they sometimes play a few other games, I believe, like Fall Guys and whatnot. Give them a follow if you haven't already. Ever Impending Sense of Doom is our sponsor for tonight's third inning. Top third here in Philadelphia, Fort Wayne. It's the 9-1-2 spots due up. George Zetlin, the pitcher, will lead things off. Bobby Matthews on the mound. He's ready. We're ready. Let's go. First pitch to Zetlin. And check swing. They ask first base umpire. He says he didn't swing. And that is outside for a ball, 1-0. The 1-0 pitch. That's high, 2-0. The 2-0 pitch. He's grounded that foul. It'll be 2-1. How many is it tonight you're behind? Well, everybody gets an inning, right? That's usually how I run it with baseball. So you get the 4th. KXJ has the 5th. Pixelated Suits has the 6th. It Kit will get the 7th. Smokaya will get the 8th. Crack Attack Central will get the 9th. And Bobby FCG Mast has the post-game show. So, if you really want to know, there's the order of things tonight. Here's the 2-1. It's low and away for a ball, 3-1. Yes, I know you were being sarcastic, but I got it under control tonight. At least for now. Here's the 3-1. That's ripped over to third, and that's a bad throw. That is a bad throw. It's another E5. That'll be third baseman Ed Pinkham's second error of the night. Third for Philadelphia. And the leadoff runner in George Zetlin is aboard. Back to the top of the order. Dickie Flowers settles in. He popped up to second base his first at bat. Here's the first pitch to him. He takes that inside ball one, but it gets away. It's a passed ball. And George Zetlin goes to second base for free. And now there's a runner on second with nobody out. By the way, yeah, I shouted out Kamish. What a great voice, by the way. Amazing commentary voice Kamish has, by the way, too. I'd like to think that him, myself, and Dr. Dynastic probably are the three best voices in baseball. At least here on Twitch. Here's the 1-0. That's below the knees, 2-0. I'm not trying to put myself in their. I think I'm a pretty good commentator, is what I'm trying to say. But Dr. Dynastic is smooth as silk, and Kamish is like the most polished piece of gold that you could have. Like with 20 years of doing EMLB. The 2-0. Check swing. They ask third base. Third base umpire says he did not go. And that's inside. 3-0 will be the count. That looked awfully close. Here's the 3-1. Taken right down Broad Street for a strike. Or that was the 3-0. It's 3-1 now. Here's the 3-1 pitch. And that swung on into right center field. Looking good way back there. It's going to bounce and go to the wall. Extra bases for Dickie Flowers. He slides into second base with an RBI double. As Zetlin comes around to score, and Fort Wayne have tied this game at 1. Thank you for the 5-stream watch streak, Bobby. How you doing, bro? How's it going, Bobby? Welcome in, man. Count Sensendorfer will settle in. Reached via an error his last at bat. Has bunted down, and that's picked up at first. That's picked up by the pitcher and thrown over to first. Then that will be the first out of the inning. Sacrifice successful. That moves Flowers over to third with 1 out. Yeah, not too bad. Just playing the Division II. Damn, people. Is there still a large player base on that game? That's been out like 5 years at least. Jimmy Wood will settle in. He lined out to second base his last at bat. Runner on third, 1 out. First pitch to Wood. That's swung on and missed. 0-1. It was on sale 95%, so I got it. Damn. You got a steal. Did you guys see what PlayStation announced, by the way? Which is absolute horseshit, but here's the 0-1. That's taken in the dirt for a ball. 1-1. I don't know if you saw the PlayStation announcement. It might not have been from today. It's certainly been, it would have been like within the last week or two. Here's the 1-1. That is inside, ball 2, and it gets by the catcher. It's a wild pitch. It's a wayward pitch. Coming in to score on the wild pitch is Dickie Flowers. And it's 2-1 Fort Wayne. Oh my God, my player in Commission's save is so bad. Thank God for the boosts. So for those that are wondering and waiting on the Sony news, Sony announced that they're, first off, it's a two-parter. Sony announced they're no longer going to port their own games over to PC. So RIP PC gamers, we get screwed again. Here's the 2-1, by the way. That's lined into left. Is that going to land foul? No, it will, yes. It'll be 2-2. So that was the first L that Sony took. The second is they announced that the PlayStation Store is now going to have dynamic pricing. So if you buy more games, then games are going to get more expensive for you. So for example, if you, let's say you have a game that's $10, okay? Base price is $10, okay? Sony announced and that if you buy more games, that game will be more expensive than $10. Meaning if you bought, say, 50 games off the PlayStation Store, instead of paying the base price of $10 for that game, the PlayStation Store will now charge you, say, $13. And if you don't buy a lot of games from the PlayStation Store, you're going to get charged less. So if the base game is $10, but you've only bought, say, 4 or 5 games from the PlayStation Store, that game will cost you something like $7.50 instead of $10. So they're going to dynamically price games in their PlayStation Store based off your purchase history and how much you purchase through the PlayStation Store. Which I think is absolute cockamamie bullshit. Here's the 2-2. He's lined this into left. It's drifting foul. It will land foul. We'll do it again. Still 2-2. Is that even legal? You think we have regulations in the U.S.? Of course that's legal. You think that... You think Japan's going to regulate it so their company can't drain more money out of their own consumers? No. It's a Japanese company. They'll let them rob you hand over fist. It's the capitalism of crack, heroin, and really messed up meth. Yeah, pretty much. It should be illegal, absolutely. It's popped up in the infield. That is caught by the second baseman. And that'll be the second out. Or that'll be the second out. I forgot to respond to you, Commish. I took a look at the player and then I forgot to respond. I literally said even to chat, I was like, God, he's so bad. My player is so bad. That brings up Steve King. He reached via an error his last at bat. It's all right. We'll get him better. We'll make him better. He's hit him. He's plunked him. Steve King has been hit by the pitch, and that is first base for free. Essentially, I like to think that that stuff should be illegal, Bobby, because essentially what you're saying is you are charging one price to one person and another price to another person, and the only differential between the two people is purely socioeconomic status. That's it, right? It's like discrimination, but be a socioeconomic status and financial stability. Like, that's it. So, yeah, it should be discriminatory on those grounds, but that there's so little protection on discrimination based on socioeconomic status baked into at least the U.S. here. I don't know about anywhere else that they get away with it. Because like all the discriminatory factors that would be illegal in the U.S. are basically race, age, religion, sexual orientation, and even sexual orientation. It's not illegal in every state, but to discriminate based on sexual orientation, I mean. But it's basically race, age, religion, and that's about it. That's literally about it. Things like height, socioeconomic status. In some states, it's illegal to discriminate based on marital status. It's not illegal in every state, at least as far as I'm aware. Here's the first pitch to Harry Schaefer. He lined it out to third base his last time, but if he takes that in the dirt, it's 1-0. Most companies will say they don't discriminate based on marital status and sexual orientation, but I don't think it's actually written in the law anywhere. I just think it's mainly race, age, and religion. Here's the 1-0. That's lined towards the second baseman. He's got it. And the side is retired. 2 runs on just a single hit, and they leave one on base. We're going to go to the bottom of the third. It's a 2-1 ball game. The Kekiongas have taken the lead. We're going to take ourselves a 90-second timeout. We'll be back with more in a minute and a half. Right. Sorry. We're back. Sorry, I wanted to close a few tabs on Twitch that had gone offline. Right, bottom third in Philadelphia. John Hadfield due up. It's top of the order for Philly. 1-2-3 spot. John Hadfield to lead things off. Hadfield flied out the left this last at bat. Here's the first pitch to him. That is popped up in the left. Left fielder's got it. He's F7, just like he did in the first inning. So he's flying out the left again on the first pitch, and Hadfield's retired. Is it? Oh, fuck, it is. You're right. Sorry. Sorry. I could have sworn I turned Vivaldi audio off for this tab. I must have turned it on by accident. Sorry. That's what happens when I usually come back from the breaks. I just let the song play out in my ears, and you guys don't hear it. My bad, Bobby. Thank you. But I turned Vivaldi audio back off, so I was jamming. It's a classic, isn't it? It's like he knows. So, like, I just restarted it. Like, you'll hear it now, and then I take it off, right? So, what a tune. Yeah, 2009, that song, by the way. Amazing, isn't it? Right. Oh, I wish I could bookmark Discord messages. God, that would be so useful. But yeah. Yeah. That might be coming. Although again, so might be root if Discord keeps fucking up. That's besides the point. Right. Bottom third, one out. Scott Hastings settling in. Can't believe that tune is 2009, by the way. That's why I keep saying it. I'm like, God, it's been 16 years. That's inside ball one. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That is popped up behind home plate, and that's caught for the second out of the inning. Would you be willing to take some time another evening to explain Regent? Nice. I take it you have tried again tonight, Stuart, and have been unsuccessful. Tom York settling in. He had an RBI single his last at bat. Philly down one, nobody on, 2 out. And he takes his first pitch, rips it in the gap into right, and Tom York is aboard. That brings up Ed Pinkham in an RBI single his last at bat. 1 on, 2 out. Here's the first pitch to Pinkham. Check swing. They go to first base. The umpire there says he didn't go. The throw comes into second, and the umpire there calls Tom York safe. York has stolen the bag, and he's on second base now with 2 outs. Couple of runs, no success. Yeah. Rip. Yeah. I could not play a game that needs, like, if I can't progress past a boss now at like 20, 30 tries, I'll rage quit the game and never pick it up again. When I was younger, I used to play games like that. I can't do it now. I get too angry. Here's Ed Pinkham. That's he takes that one inside. It's 2-0. 2-0 pitch is outside, 3-0. The 3-0 pitch. He's taking this all the way. That's right down Broad Street for a strike. 3-1. The 3-1 pitch to Ed Pinkham. And he's taking that away. Ball 4, and Pinkham's aboard on a 5-pitch walk. Once I get everything unlocked, I'll probably stick to 1 or 2 characters. But unlocks are unlocks. Yep. That was me with 99 Nights. I don't know if you guys remember this old hack and slash game that was an Xbox 360 exclusive. It was called 99 Nights. Wasn't a great game. But that's what you had to do. There were like 10 characters in the game, and you had the first 3 you could play as. And as you beat the campaign with the first one, the fourth one unlocks. And as you beat the campaign with the second one, the fifth one unlocks. And as you beat the campaign with the third one, the sixth one unlocks. And then you couldn't unlock the seventh one until you beat the campaign with the fourth, fifth, and sixth characters. And you were timed as well. It was a timed campaign. And then you had to beat it with the seventh character, the eighth character, the ninth character, the 10th. It was annoying. It was annoying. The game was so hard, too. But then again, I'm not an experienced hack and slasher. Like, I've played that game, and I've played, like, Dynasty Warriors 2 or Dynasty Warriors 3. And those are, like, the only hack and slash games I think I've played. So... Dickie Pierce settles in. He flied out to right field his first at bat. Here's the first pitch to him. This is lined into the seats and right, so it'll be 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. He takes that outside, ball one. The 1-0 pitch. He's lined this into right, and that just lands foul. It'll be 1-2. The 1-2 pitch. That's grounded foul to the backstop. Here's the 1-2. Off the plate away. 2-2 now. Sure, no problem. I helped someone else say and they completed it quickly. I'm hoping defect is still defect because Lord defect is defect fun inspire 1. Nice. Here's the 2-2. Lined into center field. That's going to drop for a base hit. And it's a single. So Pierce goes to first. Pinkham gets to second. Tom York gets to third. And the bases are loaded for Philadelphia as Dick Higgum settles in. He singled in his last at bat. First pitch to Higgum. He's lined this into left. That'll drift foul. It'll be 0-1. Big opportunity for Higgum here. He does have a little bit of power. Here's the pitch, the 0-1. That's grounded back up the mound. Second baseman, the shortstop's got it. It's over to first. It's in time. And the side is retired. No runs on 2 hits. And they left the bases loaded. We go top fourth here in Philadelphia. Still 2-1 Fort Wayne. 7, 8, 9 spots due up for Fort Wayne. It'll be Wes Fisler who's going to lead things off. New ending means new sponsor. Swanky Pants 10 is an awesome FM streamer. Here he is, a clip from today. Awesome FM streamer. Also plays Fall Guys. Give him a follow if you haven't already. Swanky Pants 10 will sponsor tonight's 4th inning. Matthews on the mound. Fisler settles in. He grounded out his last at bat. Here's the first pitch to Fisler. And that's out off the plate away, 1-0. The 1-0 pitch. Called. Strike. It's 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Called. Strike 2 on the inside part of the plate. It's 1-2. Nice goal, Swanky. Nice goal. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Fisler. He's lined that back up the middle base hit. And Fisler gets on to lead off the 4th. It only took us jumping on ahead an hour. I'm sorry. Swanky. It only took us going on to daylight savings time 2 weeks before you guys do for you to actually be awake to see your shout out. Here's Fergie Malone. He flied out to right his first at bat. Here's the first pitch. Throw over to first, and the runner is back safely. First pitch is taken for a called strike on the outside part of the plate. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1. Called strike two. He painted the exact same spot. And Fergie Malone is down 0-2 in the count. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That's ripped into center field. Is it playable? No, it drops. The center fielder can't make the play. It is a double for Fergie Malone, who stands on second base. Fissler gets to third. And there are two runners in scoring position and nobody out here in the top of the fourth. Only took you 2 hours. An hour 45, goddammit. And you weren't here for all of that. Bastard. Here's Dave Birdsall settling in. First pitch to Birdsall, that's off the plate away, 1-0. Here's the 1-0. That's ripped into right center field. It's high, it's deep, it's off the base of the wall, and Fort Wayne are going to extend their lead. This is looking like a 2 RBI triple as Fissler slides into third. I'm sorry, as Birdsall slides into third. And that's exactly what it is. It's a 2 RBI triple here. Fissler scores from third. Malone will score from second. And Fort Wayne have taken a 4-1 lead. What a hit. Great hit. Really good hit. Honestly, only about 10 feet from being a 5-1 lead. Pitcher George Zetlin will settle in. He reached via an error his first at bat. Runner 90 feet away, and still nobody out. Sorry, I had a sneezing fit there. Here's the first pitch. That's popped up into right. That'll drift foul. Here's the 0-1. High and inside, 1-1. The 1-1 pitch. That's going to go foul into right. And it'll be 1-2. The 1-2 pitch. Line through the gap into right field, and George Zetlin gets himself some run support. He's got an RBI single. It's 5-1. Scoring from third is Dave Birdsall, and that goes we go back to the top of the order. And Dickie Flowers, who had an RBI double his last at bat, he's 1 for 2. Runner on first, nobody out. Throw over to first, and Zetlin's back safely. First pitch to him, he's going to bunt it down. That's going to go to the mound, and that will be the first out of the inning. So sack bunt complete. Zetlin goes to third, or goes to second. And now there is runner on second with 1 out. Here is Count Sensendorfer settling in. He's 0 for 1. First pitch to Sensendorfer. That's grounded over to short. On to first. That's in time. Out number 2. 6-3 on the putout. And that brings up Jimmy Wood. He's 0 for 2 so far today. First pitch to Wood. And he's lined that right at the shortstop. That's caught. And that'll be the final out of the inning. 3 runs on 4 hits, and they leave 1 aboard. We go to the bottom of the 4th, and Fort Wayne have made it a 5-1 ball game. 7, 8, 9 spots due up in the inning for Philadelphia. Charlie Bierman will be the first man up. We are going to take ourselves a 90-second timeout. We'll be back with more in a minute and a half. Welcome back. Bottom 4th here in Philadelphia. Charlie Bierman going to lead things off. Athletics down 5-1 here. First pitch to Bierman. And that's taken off the plate away. 1-0. The 1-0 pitch. Grounded back to the mound. Over to first in plenty of time. And Bierman is going to be retired. That's going to bring up Neely Phelps. He's 0 for 1. Reach via fielder's choice his last at bat. First pitch to Phelps. That's high, ball 1. Here's the 1-0. Ripped into center, but playable. Center fielder barely had to move. He's got it. And there's 2 away now. Pitcher Bobby Matthews will settle in. He popped up to the second baseman his last at bat. Here's the first pitch to Matthews. And he's going to take a called strike on the inside half of the plate. 0-1. The 0-1 pitch to Bobby Matthews. Inside, ball 1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's fouled into the seats. It'll be 1-2 now. 1-2 pitch. Popped up. That's going into the seats again. It'll remain 1-2. Here's the 1-2. That's fouled again. We do it again. The 1-2. That's flied into right. That's drifting foul. The wind's going to take that. It'll land foul. We'll do it again. The 1-2. Check swing. They ask first base. And the umpire there said he didn't go. It's outside, ball 2. The 2-2. Fouled down the third base side. Still 2-2. Here's the pitch. He's grounded that back to the mound. Over to first in time, and the side is retired. No runs, no hits, nobody left on base. We go top 5th here in Philadelphia. The Kekiongas leading 5-1. It'll be 4, 5, 6 spot due up for Fort Wayne. Steve King will be the first man up. He was plunked last time out. He's 0 for 1 so far today. New ending means new sponsor. KXJ is an awesome streamer. He does stream Football Managers on Mondays usually. Also plays a bit of Eco. Has a save with Dave the Diver. And was streaming live from his bowling practice earlier today. Give him a follow if you haven't already. Super kind and awesome gentleman. KXJ sponsors tonight's 5th inning. Steve King at the plate, 0 for 1 today. First pitch to King. Off the plate away, 1-0. Here's the 1-0. Grounded down the first base side. It'll be taken by the first baseman to the bag himself. And that'll be the first out of the inning. That brings up Harry Schaefer. He's 0 for 2. First pitch to Schaefer is popped up. That's drifting foul. Over to the first baseman. He's got it in foul territory, and that will be out number 2. Wes Fizzler, the man due up next. 1 for 2 with a single. First pitch to Fizzler. He fanned at that one. It'll be 0-1. Here's the 0-1 to Fizzler. He's grounded that over to second. The throw, it's a bad throw. It's a really bad throw. E4. An error by second baseman Dick Higgham, his first of the afternoon, but it's the 4th for Philadelphia. And Fizzler gets to second base without issue. The inning should have been over. Instead, we continue playing. Fizzler on second. Fergie Malone settles in. He's 1 for 2. He had a double. Here's the first pitch. He's going to take that inside. Ball 1. The 1-0. High and inside, 2-0. The 2-0 pitch. That's a called strike on the black. And it's 2-1. Here's the 2-1 pitch. High, ball 3. It's a hitter's count now, 3-1. 3-1 pitch to Fergie Malone. Lined right at the second baseman. He's got it. And the side is retired. No runs, no hits. 1 man left on base. We go bottom 5th here in Philadelphia. Fort Wayne holding on to a 5-1 lead. We are going to take ourselves a 90-second timeout. We'll be back with more in a minute and a half. We are back. Bottom fifth. 5-1 game here. Top of the order, 2 up for Philadelphia. John Hatfield set to lead things off. He's flied out the left twice. First pitch to Hatfield. Right down broad, and it's a strike, 0-1. Here's the 0-1. That's ripped into center, but playable. Center fielder goes back a few steps, makes the catch. And John Hatfield is flying out 3 times tonight. Scott Hastings due up next. He's 0 for 2. First pitch to Hastings. He's going to take that on the black for a strike, 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That is just off the plate, 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. He's fouled that to the backstop, 1-2. One-two count to Hastings. Here's the pitch. Lined right at the third baseman. He's got it. And Hastings is sat down. So 2 out, nobody on for Tom York. Last time he was in this situation, he did single. He's 1 for 2 today. Here's the first pitch to York. He's ground out right in front of the home plate. He gets the first. He beats the throw. Back-to-back singles for Tom York with 2 outs. And Fort Wayne have got a pitch to Ed Pinkham to try and close the inning again. He's 1 for 1 today, single and a walk with an RBI. The first pitch to Pinkham. Outside ball 1. Here comes the throw to second. It's safe, and it's a bad throw. So Tom York gets credited with a stolen base over at second. And then it's an E2 throwing error on Fergie Malone. The second error for Fort Wayne in this game, and York gets the third off the back of the error. And here's the 1-0 to Pinkham. Called strike on the black, 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Pinkham flies this into center deep, but the center fielder's there. And despite there being some alarms and some surprises with the single, stolen base, and error, it'll be no runs, 1 hit, 1 man left on base. Top 6 time in Philadelphia. Fort Wayne 5-1 leaders. It'll be the 8-9-1 spot due up for Fort Wayne. Dave Birdsall will be the man that'll lead things off. New ending means new sponsor. Pixelated Suits is an awesome Colombian American streamer. Fallout New Vegas, Fallout 76, Oblivion Remake, Skate, and Football Manager. Give them a follow if you haven't already. Battlefield as well, Battlefield 6. The great Pixelated Suits is our sponsor for tonight's 6th inning. Matthews is ready on the mound. Dave Birdsall, here he goes. First pitch incoming. That's lined right at the shortstop. He's got it. And 1 pitch, 1 out here to start the 6th. George Zetlin settles in. RBI single his last at bat. 1 for 2 today. First pitch to Zetlin, and he takes that high and away, 1-0. Here's the 1-0. Grounded through, base hit. It hugs the line. And Zetlin's got himself a stand-up double. Runner on second, 1 out for Dickie Flowers. He's 1 for 2 with a double and an RBI. First pitch to Flowers is off the plate, 1-0. The 1-0. He's behind on that one, 1-1. The 1-1 pitch. Grounded over to second. On to first. That's in time. That'll be out number 2. Zetlin does get the third. 2 outs, though. Count Sensendorfer will settle in 0 for 2. First pitch to Sensendorfer, and he's going to take that right down broad. 0-1. The 0-1 pitch. Grounded over to short. Plenty of time. On to first. In time. And that'll retire the side. No runs on 1 hit. And they leave 1 man left on base. We go bottom 6th. 5-1 Fort Wayne. 5, 6, 7 spots due up for Philadelphia. Dickie Pierce, the man that will lead things off. We're going to take a 90-second timeout. We'll be back with more in a minute and a half. Welcome back. Bottom sixth here in Philadelphia. Fort Wayne with a 5-1 lead. Dickie Pierce to lead things off for Philadelphia here. Pierce is 1 for 2 today. First pitch to Pierce. And he swings on it. Grounded over to third. It is a bad throw, and a very bad throw from the third baseman. So Dickie Pierce gets on via an E5, and it gets him to second base. Harry Schaefer credited with the error for Fort Wayne. It's their third, his first. And Philadelphia have a chance now to get something back in this game. They got a runner in scoring position, nobody out. That brings up Dick Higham. 1 for 2 today. First pitch to Higham. And he's grounded this over the third. Or over to first, I should say. First baseman picks it up. Catcher comes over to cover the base. And that'll be a 3-1 put out as Dick Higham's retired. It does move Pierce over to third with 1 out. The 7, 8, 9 spot hitters in this game are without a hit. They're all 0-2. The first of which is Charlie Bierman, who settles in. First pitch to Bierman. He takes that off the plate away, 1-0. Here's the 1-0. He's ripped this in the right. That is going to finally break that curse. And he's got himself an RBI single. Dickie Pierce will score. And Charlie Bierman delivers with an RBI single here in the 6th. It's made it 5-2. Neely Phelps now settling in. He's 0 for 2. First pitch to Phelps. And he's fouled that off. Here's the 0-1. Grounded over to second. The throw over to second is in time. They got the lead runner. So fielder's choice 4-6. And Phelps is aboard first. They throw Bierman out at second. And that brings up pitcher Bobby Matthews. 0 for 2 today. Here's the first pitch to Matthews. That's in the dirt, 1-0. The 1-0. He's going to take that for a called strike on the outside corner, 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Off the plate, away, 2-1. Also was low. Here's the 2-1 pitch. That's grounded foul down the third base side. 2-2 to count now. The 2-2 pitch. Off the plate, away, ball 3. And the 3-2 pitch. Swung on into left field. That is going to land foul. We do it again. There's the 3-2. That's ripped in the left. Is that going to drop? Yes, base hit for Bobby Matthews. And Phelps cheats his way over to third. Good running from Phelps to get the third. It's a single from Bobby Matthews. Runners on the corners with 2 outs. We go top of the order. The top two leadoff hitters here for Philadelphia are 0-3 today, starting with Hatfield, who's flat out 3 times. First pitch to Hatfield. He's grounded this over to second. On to first, that's in time, and the side is retired. 1 run on 2 hits. and they leave 2 men on base. We go top 7th. 5-2 Fort Wayne. 3, 4, 5 spots due up for Fort Wayne. Jimmy Wood, the second baseman, will lead things off. New inning, new sponsor time. It Kit is an awesome FM 26 Slay the Spire, Risk of Rain, Mario Kart, Mario Party streamer. They do not stream often at all, but when they do, it's always a good time. Give them a follow if you haven't already. It Kit sponsors tonight's 7th inning. Jimmy Wood settles in. He's 0 for 3. Matthews still on the mound. Here's the first pitch from Matthews to start the top 7th, and that is a called strike on the outside part of the plate. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1. He's grounded that back to the mound. Throw over to first. That's in time. And Jimmy Wood is retired. Steve King due up. He's 0 for 2. First pitch to King. Takes that on the black for a called strike. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1. Inside, 1-1. Here's the 1-1. That's grounded back up the middle, base hit. And Steve King's got his first knock of the afternoon. He's aboard with a single here with 1 out. Harry Schaefer settles in now. Schaefer 0 for 3. First pitch to Schaefer, and he's going to take that for a called strike. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Check swing. They're going to ask third base, and the umpire there says he didn't go. And the ball's outside, 1-1. The 1-1 pitch. High and inside, ball 2, but it gets by the catcher. It's a wild pitch. And that means that Steve King will advance a base for free. Two 2-1 pitch. High, 3-1. The 3-1 pitch. Grounded back to the mound. Throw over to first is in time. The runner does not move. Very good hold of the runner. Steve King, if he got to third, it would be a lot easier for Fort Wayne, but he's stuck on second now. 2 outs. And that brings up Wes Fissler, who's 1 for 3 today. First pitch from Matthews. That's below the knees, 1-0. The 1-0 pitch. Popped it up, drifting in foul territory. Third baseman comes over. He makes the grab, and the side is retired. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left on base. It is 7th inning stretch time here in Philadelphia. The Kekiongas holding on to a 5-2 advantage. As always, we've got ourselves the time-honored classic of Take Me Out to the Ball Game. Enjoy as we get up and stretch. We'll be back in 2 minutes' time. You heard the man. Play ball is the call. And we are going to get back to doing just that. Top or bottom 7th here in Philadelphia. It is a 5-2 scoreline. 2, 3, 4 spots due up for Philly. Scott Hastings will lead things off here in the bottom of the 7th. 0 for 3 so far today for Hastings. Zetlin settles in. He's pitching a stormer right now. First pitch to Hastings, and that is on the outside part of the plate for a called strike. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1. Popped it up. Shallow left. The shortstop's back. He's got it. And Hastings is retired. Tom York will settle in, 2 for 3, both singles. First pitch to York. Popped up. Shallow left. Shortstop takes a few steps back. He makes the play again. 2 down here. And just like that, it'll be Ed Pinkham to settle in. Pinkham 1 for 2 with a single, a walk, and an RBI. Nobody on, 2 out. Here's the pitch to Pinkham. Grounded that to the backstop, 0-1. Here's the 0-1. Inside, ball 1. The 1-1 pitch. In the dirt, 2-1. Here's the 2-1 pitch. In the dirt again, 3-1. The 3-1 pitch. Grounded over to second. On to first, that's in time, and the side is retired. No runs, no hits, nobody left on base. We go top 8th. Fort Wayne winning on the road here, 5-2. New inning, new sponsor. Smakaya is an awesome Football Manager streamer. Here he is playing FM 26. That's the clip he showed me the other night. Literally from the kickoff, player got hurt. Go give him a follow. He's got an awesome save in Estonia. Smokaya sponsors tonight's 8th inning. It'll be the 7, 8, 9 spots due up here for Fort Wayne. Fergie Malone settling in to lead things off. Malone is 1 for 3 with a double. Here's the first pitch. Check swing. And it's in there for a called strike anyway. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1. Off the plate away, 1-1. The 1-1. Grounded over to second. On to first in time. And Malone is retired. That brings up Dave Birdsall. 1 for 3 with the 2 RBI triple. First pitch to Birdsall. Grounded over to second. On to first in time. And that is the second out of the inning. George Zetlin settles in 2 for 3 with a single, a double, and an RBI. First pitch to Zetlin. Grounded over to second, but a bad throw this time from the second baseman. E4. And it'll be Dick Higham getting credited with the error. It's his second of the night. Philadelphia's 5th. And also for the second time tonight, George Zetlin gets aboard via an error. Fort Wayne was able to capitalize with 2 runs last time this happened. They got Dickie Flowers settling in. He had an RBI double last time this happened. He has 1 for 3 today. First pitch to Zetlin. That's a called strike. Throw over to second. Safe. Not in time, and Zetlin has stolen second base. Here's the 0-1. That's taken high and away for a ball. 1-1. The 1-1 inside, ball 2. 2-1 now. Lined back up the middle, base hit. And Dickie Flowers has a single. Zetlin will be held at third base. Runners on the corners now, 2 outs. Here's Count Sensendorfer. He is 0 for 3 so far today. First pitch to Sensendorfer. That's lined right back at the mound. And gloving it is Matthews, and the side is retired. No runs on 1 hit, and then they leave 2 men on base. We go bottom 8th here in Philadelphia. 5-2 Fort Wayne. 5, 6, 7 spot due up for Philadelphia. Dickie Pierce will be the man that leads things off. We are going to take a 90-second timeout. We'll be back with more in a minute and a half. Welcome back. Bottom 8th. Five, 6, 7 spots due up. Dickie Pierce. First man due up. Here's the first pitch to him. Pierce 1 for 3 so far today. And he's going to take that inside and high. Ball 1. Here's the 1-0. That's lined foul down the first base side. 1-1. Here's the 1-1. And he's plunked him. He's hit by the pitch, is Dickie Pierce. He gets on base. So runner on first, nobody out. Dick Higgum settles in. He's 1 for 3. First pitch to Higgum. That's fouled off. It'll be 0-1. Here's the 0-1. Lined right at the shortstop. He's got it. And that'll be the first out. Pierce can't move. He doesn't have pace either, so not looking to steal. Charlie Bierman settles in 1 for 3 with an RBI. First pitch to Bierman. He's going to take that for a called strike. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1. High, 1-1. The 1-1. Swung on and missed. That's 1-2. The 1-2 pitch. In the dirt, 2-2. The 2-2 pitch. He's popped this up, shallow center. Center fielder's there. He takes a few steps in. He makes the grab. And there's 2 down now. Neely Phelps settles in 0 for 3. Here's the first pitch to him. It's grounded over to second. The throw is on to first. That's in time. And the side is retired. No runs, no hits. 1 man left on base. Top of the 9th time. And Fort Wayne holding on 5-2. 3-4-5 spot due up for Fort Wayne. It'll be Jimmy Wood to lead things off. But new inning, new sponsor. Crack Attack Central is an awesome Irish streamer. He's been streaming WWE 2K26. He streams Shin Megami Tensei 5. He streams Kingdom Hearts. He streams Football Manager. Give him a follow if you haven't already. Amazing streamer. Amazing to talk to. The ever so wonderful Crack Attack Central sponsors tonight's 9th inning. First pitch coming into Jimmy Wood. He's going to take that for a ball, 1-0. Not a lot of pitches for Matthews. This incoming his 100th. But the 5 runs absolutely killer is Wood takes this outside for a ball, 2-0. Here's the 2-0. That's ripped into right. Is it going to stay fair? It lands foul. The 2-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. 2-2. The 2-2 to Jimmy Wood. That's fouled down the third base side. It'll be 2-2 still. The 2-2 pitch. That's ripped in a left base hit. Jimmy Wood's aboard. His first knock in 5 trips to the plate tonight. And that'll bring up Steve King. He's 1 for 3. First pitch to King. That's flat out into right. Right fielder's there. He makes the grab, and that's the first out. Harry Schaefer, the next man up. 0 for 4 today. First throw over to first. Runner is back safely. First pitch to Matthews is in the right base hit. Wood goes to second. First and second, one out now. Here, that'll bring up Wes Fizzler. He's 1 for 4. Here's the first pitch to Fizzler, and he takes that inside, 1-0. The 1-0. Right back up the middle, base hit. It's another single. And the bases are loaded for Fort Wayne. Fergie Malone settles in 1 for 4 today. He had a double back in the 4th. First pitch to Malone, and he's grounded this back up the throw home. They got him. They got him at home. It's a fielder's choice. 6-2. Malone will take first base. Fizzler goes to second. Schaefer goes to third, but it's Jimmy Wood who's thrown out at home. And they save the run. 2 outs here now. Bases still loaded, and it's Dave Birdsall settling in. He had a 2 RBI triple back in the 4th. First pitch to him as he's 1 for 4 today. He takes that for a called strike on the outside part of the plate. 0-1. Here's the 0-1. That is in the dirt. 1-1. The 1-1. Inside. 2-1. Here is the 2-1 pitch. Inside. 3-1. And it's a hitter's count here with the bases loaded. The 3-1 is grounded to the backstop. 3-2 now. 3-2. Grounded to the backstop. We'll do it again. The 3-2 pitch. Flying out into right. Drifting foul. It will land foul. It'll remain 3-2. The 3-2. Ball 4. And Dave Birdsall draws an RBI walk. He goes to first. Going to second is Fergie Malone. Going to third is Wes Fizzler. And walking home is Harry Schaefer. 6-2 Fort Wayne. George Zetlin settles in 2 for 4 with a single and a double and an RBI. First pitch to Zetlin. He's taking that right down broad for a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1 off the plate away. 1-1. The 1-1 pitch. And that is fouled. It'll be 1-2. The 1-2 pitch is popped up. Center field, playable. Center fielder's there. He makes the grab, and the side is retired. Run on 3 hits, and they left the bases loaded. We go bottom 9th here in Philadelphia. 6-2 Fort Wayne. We are going to take ourselves a 90-second timeout. We'll be back with the bottom of the 9th in a minute and a half. Welcome back. 9-1, 2 spots due up. We're going to have a substitute. Pinch hitter for Philadelphia. Settling in for Bobby Matthews is Charlie Sweezy. You're welcome, Smakaya. You sponsored the top. You sponsored the 8th inning. Sweezy settles in. He's 2 for 8 so far this season, 2 RBIs. The Athletics need a miracle. 4 runs down, bottom 9th. Here's the first pitch to Sweezy. And he's popped it straight up. Shortstop's coming in. Caught it. And that is the first out of the inning. John Hatfield settles in. He's 0 for 4 today. First pitch to Hatfield. That's inside, ball 1. The 1-0. Called strike on the inside part of the plate. It's 1-1. The 1-1 pitch. Check swing. They're going to ask first base. The umpire there says he didn't go, and it was below his knees. It's 2-1. The 2-1. Grounded over to second. On to first. That's in time. Out number 2. The Athletics down to their final out. It's Scott Hastings, 0 for 4 today. First pitch to him from George Zetlin. Taken inside, ball 1. The 1-0. Called strike, and it's 1-1. The 1-1. Inside, ball 2. The 2-1 pitch. Grounded over to third. The throw over to first is in time, and the ball game is over. Fort Wayne come in. They need a big win to stay in this hunt in the National League. They get it. The final score, the Fort Wayne Kekiongas 5. The Philadelphia Athletics 2. I'm sorry, the Fort Wayne Kekiongas 6. The Philadelphia Athletics 2. Time to go over the individual statistics here for each side. Starting with the visiting Fort Wayne Kekiongas. Dickie Flowers had 5 at-bats. He had 2 hits. He had 1 double. He had 1 RBI. He had 1 sacrifice. He scored 1 run. He committed 1 fielding error. Count Sensendorfer had 4 at-bats. He did not have a hit. He had 1 sacrifice. Jimmy Wood had 5 at-bats. He had 1 hit. Steve King had 4 at-bats. He had 1 hit. He was hit by the pitch. Harry Schaefer had 5 at-bats. He had 1 hit. He scored 1 run. He committed 1 fielding error. Wes Fizzler had 5 at-bats. He had 2 hits. Scored 1 run. Fergie Malone had 5 at-bats. He had 1 hit. It was a double. He scored a run. He committed 1 fielding error. Dave Birdsall had 4 at-bats. He had 1 hit. It was a triple. He had 3 RBIs. He scored 1 run, and he drew a base on balls. George Zetlin had 5 at-bats. He had 2 hits. He scored 1 run. He stole 1 base. And he had an RBI. Final totals for the Fort Wayne Kekiongas. At-bats, 14, 19, 24, 29. I'm sorry. 5, 9, 14, 18, 28, 33, 37, 42 at-bats for the Fort Wayne Kekiongas. They have 41. I have 42. What did I count that shouldn't have been counted? I'm not seeing it. Dickie Flowers had 4 at-bats because he had a sacrifice, not 5. That's the issue. Dickie Flowers had 4 at-bats, so it is 41. It is 41 at-bats. Runs, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hits, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11, that is correct. 2 doubles, 1 triple, 1 base on balls, 1 stolen base, 2 sacrifices, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 RBIs, 3 fielding errors. Those are the totals for Fort Wayne. Over to the totals for Philadelphia. John Hatfield, 5 at-bats, no hits. Scott Hastings, 5 at-bats, no hits, 1 run. Tom York, 4 at-bats, 2 hits, 2 stolen bases. Ed Pinkham, 3 at-bats, 1 hit, 1 RBI, 1 base on balls, 2 fielding errors. Dickie Pierce, 3 at-bats, 1 hit, 1 run, 1 hit by the pitch, 1 fielding error. Dick Higham, 4 at-bats, 1 hit. Charlie Bierman, 4 at-bats, 1 hit, 1 RBI. Neely Phelps, 4 at-bats, no hits. Bobby Matthews, 3 at-bats, 1 hit. And Charlie Sweezy, 1 at-bat, no hit. Final total for the Philadelphia Athletics, 5, 10, 14, 17, 20, 24, 28, 32, 35, 36 at-bats. Runs, 2. Hits, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 7. That's correct. No doubles, no triples, no home runs, 1 base on balls, no strikeouts, 2 stolen bases, no sacrifices, 2 RBIs, and 5 fielding errors. For the pitching statistics, George Zetlin will get the win. He will improve to 9-8 on the season. He is 9 innings pitched. I have his pitch count at 119. 119. 1 base on ball, no strikeouts. 7 hits, was it? Yep. 2 runs, and neither run was earned, by the way. That's incredible. For Bobby Matthews, 9 innings pitched. I have his pitch count at 121. 121. I have 1 base on balls. No strikeouts. Hits was 10. No, hits was 11. Runs they scored was 6. Earned runs, 5 of them were earned. Wow. Bobby Matthews gets credited with the loss. He will drop to 9-7 on the season. So there you have it. I'm going to click leave game, and I'm immediately going to save the game. And we are done the 1st of January. Let's take a look at what this does to the standings, shall we? Fort Wayne Kekiongas are going to move to within a half game of the Chicago White Stockings at the top of the National League. They join the New York Mutuals at 8-7. We are 2 games back in 4th place in the division. Troy 7 back is their season well and truly over at this rate, especially considering Troy only have 12 games left to play. Philadelphia, that's a really bad loss to take. They moved to 10-8. They dropped 3 games behind Boston, who are 10-2, mind you. So Boston's still leading the American League. Cleveland Forest Cities are 2 games back at 9-5. Philadelphia Athletics now 3 games back at 10-8. The Washington Olympics are almost dead and buried. They are 6 games back at 7-11. We are going to advance one day to the 2nd of July. The next match will be the 9-11 Rockford Forest Cities, who are on the charge in this season. They are 6-4 in their last 10s. They've started to turn things around there. They are at the division-leading Chicago White Stockings. That's a massive game. A win for Rockford puts them only within a game of the lead in the National League. And if Rockford win as well, it will draw New York and Fort Wayne level with Chicago as well. So you'll have a three-way tie for the top of the National League with Rockford a game back, should Rockford win that game. If Chicago win that game, they will move a game ahead of New York and Fort Wayne. Rockford will drop to 3 games back. So this is, I cannot stress it enough, this is a massive, massive game for the player. Remember, only the top team in the National League and the top team in the American League at the end of the season will compete for the World Series. And this could force a 3-way tie for the top of the National League right after the halfway mark of the season, should Rockford win. Massive game. That's going to be the very next game. The 9-11 Rockford Forest Cities, 4-7 on the road at the 8-6 Chicago White Stockings, who are 3-2 at home. That's going to do it for me. If you're watching on YouTube, this is the end of the recording. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you for the next one. Until then, take care.